Hey, good afternoon, folks. Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with FarmerWeather.com, also a resident of the Rotonda West area. So I'm watching this very closely. Update specifically for Rotonda West, Englewood, Venice area. Okay. We always have to start with the National Hurricane Center forecast, and people always ask me, what is the best model? What is the best track forecast? The Hurricane Center studies themselves versus the models, and overall, on average, the National Hurricane Center forecast is the best, quickest, most accurate place to look at. Having said that, one of the various models will always probably be better at some point than the than the NHC forecast. So we'll look at that some too. But we're going to start right with the Hurricane Center's forecast and look at the discussion too. And so here we go. This is the one from I think 10 a.m. or so. It's the latest one we have. And what they have done is they have inched the track southward. The previous advisory had the center of the track going through Tampa Bay. Now they've inched it, excuse me, south to about Sarasota. Now, the other thing too is that they remind us not to focus on the exact track position that they put. They tell us to do that, but they do give us a track so we can see the trend. Remember, the cone is sized for the average error over the last 5 years of 66% of the storms. So you look at it another way, a third of the storm centers will wind up outside of that cone, and the cone is still fairly big, and the spread between the models is quite big also. Not extreme, but it's not something that gives super high confidence just yet. I think we'll try to read the discussion together. And they had mentioned that there are several things that could thwart this hurricane's continued increase in strength as it approaches the coastline, and I'm going to show you a couple of those things too. I am going to have a recap for you also. Remember, this is just my interpretation for our area, Rotonda West, Englewood, Venice. Wink does a great job too. All of the stations do a great job on giving you general information as well. So let's read this, and there's a couple of key things here in this discussion. They indicate that Milton is strengthening. It's still a tropical storm. Fixes from the aircraft indicate that Milton is south of the previously anticipated location and has been moving southeastward. So, in other words, where they thought the center would be, it's actually a little further south of that. And so as a result of this repositioning and initial motion, there has been a southward change to most of the guidance this morning. The new runs are coming in, so I'll show you that after this. They're not talking about the new runs. The new NHC forecast is adjusted south of the previous one, especially earlier on, and further southward adjustments could be required if guidance trend continues. Okay, they're saying that an eye wall has formed. Let's see. The biggest question actually seems to be the intensity as Milton approaches Florida, with much of the guidance showing a notable increase in wind shear aloft. That is bad for a hurricane, good for us. I'm going to show you the wind shear here in just a bit. While some weakening is anticipated, the shear could help transition Milton to a larger hurricane at landfall with impact spread out over a bigger area. So what they're saying is the wind shear could temper the intensity some, but maybe fan it out a bit. Regardless, increasing confidence that a powerful hurricane with life-threatening hazards will be affecting portions of Florida West Coast. Okay. Let's see if we get anything else that we want here. No, we don't. All right, let's move on. So here's your satellite picture of Milton, and you can obviously see, very easy to see, the rotation starting to show up. So, European, let's look at some models, okay? Now, remember, two of the models you hear about a lot, European and GFS, they're good global models. GFS has been improved. It's actually done quite well on hurricanes. We have the new GFS in now. European lags. It's a later model. We also have, I'm also going to show you two of the newest hurricane-specific models that have done quite well, and some encouraging things. And then I do have just a summary so you know what's going on. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give you the summary right now, okay? The Hurricane Hunter data now is being input into the models. We didn't have that before. So now the initialization is better and will continue to get better. So the model accuracy on all of them will get better. It looks like now a Wednesday evening or Wednesday night landfall somewhere along the coast. A tropical storm winds you probably better plan on, that's 39 miles an hour or greater. Tropical storm force winds you probably better plan on by nightfall Tuesday, by 8 p.m. Tuesday. So if you're going to prepare your home, you probably better have it, you should definitely have it done by nightfall Tuesday. Everybody's different. If you're going to do it on your own and it's 3 or 4 hours, then you could probably wait until Tuesday morning. If you're going to have somebody do it for you, you want to get in line, you probably better have it done tomorrow. Tomorrow morning we'll have good model runs, and we might be doing some of this, or we might be sweating a little bit more. My feeling is it's going to suck north in the shear somewhat. Not to take us totally out of it. And then again, I'm just going to go through my summary so you know where we're going. For our area, Rotonda West, Venice, and Englewood, I would say it's a south to southwest to west wind gust pattern. 60 mile an hour easy. 2 or 3 bursts that last several minutes on these squall lines that come through. This is based on the eye maybe coming on shore at Sarasota or Tampa. 70 to 80 mile an hour gusts possible. And if it were to trend southward, 80 to 100 mile an hour gust, slight chance, okay? All of that says you gotta be definitely preparing your house and preparing yourself, obviously. That's the main thing. Okay, so European, old run, maximum wind gust. And this is in knots, so if you want to know the conversion, 1.1 miles per hour to every knot. So where we see this 64-ish over Venice, that's about a 74 mile an hour gust. That's why I say 60 to 70, probably a good place to start, as knowing that it's most likely going to happen unless it takes its turn to the north. One of the things about this storm is it is a smaller wind field storm. All right, now, these are some of the newest hurricane models from NOAA. They'll probably replace ones that we looked at before. So these are hurricane-specific models, HAFS version A and version B, and both newer in, the latest runs that we have of them, and both indicate a curve north. This is going to be a nail biter because the curve north is going to happen on Tuesday night and Wednesday. Fortunately, the models will really consolidate on if that's going to happen by Tuesday morning. By Tuesday morning, we will know where it's going to be within 10 miles or so. Okay, so let's see here. HAFS version A. And this is kind of a floating sector, so this is the only area they concern themselves with on these hurricane models. Okay, let me make sure you can see it properly. Yes, you can. Okay, good. Okay, so this is oh, I apologize. Hold on a second here. I want to hit refresh. Yes, this is our newest version, the 12Z version. Oh, but we're not going to have. Okay, hold on. I got to go back. I apologize. I got to go back because we don't have all of it in just yet. So, give me a second here. We got to go to here. Okay. So, best model, version A, you'll, bear with me. It's Sunday, isn't it? Okay, so here we go. There is, what would be considered one of the single best models, and it would take the eye to about Clearwater. Version A, version B, would take it to about Clearwater also. Okay. And when it gets up into our region, certainly you can see why the southwest wind, you can certainly see why the 60 to 70 mile an hour gust is probably going to be fairly easy. All right, now, newest GFS, and this is what we call the 12Z run, so this is the latest we have on the GFS right now. And it's a good model because it incorporates what's happening globally. It incorporates what's happening in Texas, which is important right now. It incorporates what's happening in the Northeast and in the Great Lakes. And watch what it does. So this is Wednesday morning, 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 8 p.m. So it curves this thing at the shoreline pretty steeply, based on a trough digging down into Texas and getting behind it, okay? So what I have for you is latest. Now, let's look at 6 hours earlier run. Note the position of the eye has shifted north 30 miles. Very, very important if that trend were to continue. Here's the shear that we're talking about. So remember, a hurricane is actually a very delicate storm. It needs to have the venting just right for it to continue its circulation and to continue to become a very strong storm. And any wind aloft can thwart that. And so typically when we see a major hurricane like Ian or Helene, it's just in a sunny, hot pattern for the southeast. No upper level winds. Well, we have quite a solid jet core across the Gulf Coast. And if your storm is spinning like this and your wind is coming like this, they're not working in tandem. So that could be one of their discussions earlier talked about the possibility of rapid weakening as it heads into this year. So they haven't mentioned that yet because they do want you to be prepared, and I don't think that will happen. So let's look at, so you see the blues across Florida, This is Monday night. That represents a wind of about 70 miles an hour aloft. It's just not good for a hurricane. And as we go to Wednesday morning, there's a lot of upper level wind just to the north. So that can suck the storm north. That can ruin the venting. In other words, it probably keeps it from becoming a monster, is the way I would look at it. And I think that's all I have for you on there. Yes. Okay, so here is your recap from me, meteorologist Mark Torregrossa, of 35 years. Tropical forecasting, not so much my forte until I bought a house in Rotonda West with my wife in 2019. So again, here's a recap. Remember, the official track, good way to go. All the TV stations keep you updated on the official track. Stick with them. On the other hand, stay off Facebook, stay off of Twitter, because 1,000 people will show the worst model. It's not the way to go. Hurricane Hunter data is now into the models and will become more and more into the models, so they will become more accurate. In the next, I feel by tomorrow morning, we're going to see a definite trend sticking. I feel it's going to be a sucking to the north because of that jet core moving off. That's kind of a vacuum, whatnot. Wednesday night is landfall. Tropical storm winds by 8 p.m. Tuesday. So, like I said, you got to have the storm shutters up because you can't carry those things around in a 40-mile-an-hour wind. So do your house prep tomorrow if it takes you quite a while. Hopefully, you got some good advice. You heeded my advice. Some of the property managers I advised said, do not take your shutters down after Helene. Leave them up, because it looked iffy into early October. So hopefully yours is still up. And then here's the progression. South to southwest to west gusts. 60 miles an hour easy, the way it looks right now. 2 or 3 bursts. 70 to 80 miles an hour, probably if you want a percent chance. Well, the Hurricane Center gives us a 20% chance of a 70 to 80 mile an hour gust at Venice, and 80 to 100 mile an hour gust. The track has to continue to inch southward. So we have a hurricane. We probably do not have an Ian. We probably do not have a Helene on our hands. But we have a solid hurricane that has, again, right at the moment, quite a bit of uncertainty for Rotonda West, Venice, Englewood. Could go to weaker, not much, 50 mile an hour gust or 2. Whew. Could go to stronger. So we need another 24 hours definitely on this one. So I'm Mark Torregrossa with farmerweather.com. You can follow or you can subscribe to my YouTube page. It doesn't cost anything, and I'll probably post these on YouTube and make them public. That way you could share it, or you could see if I've done any update as the storm gets closer. Take care. We're all in this together. Bye.